Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Potential Unleashed. We're back with another One Piece chapter review. This is One Piece chapter 1084 titled The Attempted Murder of a Celestial Dragon. Let's talk about it. If you guys enjoy regular reviews, anime content, all of that fun jazz, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out a new video. Also, I have recently started streaming on Twitch where I do reactions, manga, live readings, just chilling and just chatting pretty much. If you guys want to be a part of that, I have been doing Berserk. I will leave my Twitch in the description, but with that away, let's get into the chapter review. The chapter starts off with Sabo dealing with some guards, and he ends up running into Jewelry Boney. Now, a lot of the time, whenever we talked about the Reverie, we all speculated that Sabo and Jewelry Boney worked together in order to free Kuma, which is true, and especially because of Egghead Island, we now know that Boney and Kuma are related. Kuma is her father. So as they are going, they're trying to figure out how they're going to get Kuma to be set free. And we figure out that, well, we know this in the future, but in the past, we find out that Boney went to Egghead Island in order to see if Vegapunk can fix Kuma's mind. Kobe, I'm thinking Sabo, he has the keys. He gives it to one of the members of the Revolutionary Army. And as they are running, they run into guards. Sabo, he picks up Boney and he's overhearing the guards talk about something. And they mention a room that nobody really needs to know about and it's very secretive. It's called the Phantom Room. And Sabo, he looks at it. I think he's going to go into that room. I'm pretty sure. Now, don't quote me on this. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I think the Phantom Room either has two things. It's either the throne room or the crown room where Emu stays. Number two, it could be that little garden area where Emu stays as well. Or number three, it could be a room that has a lot of information. Either or, the world government does not want people to know about this room. And so the fact that Sabo knows about it is kind of interesting because, well, Sabo, he is one of the figures or one of the main leaders of the revolutionary, so it's probably really bad that he found out about it. And so Boney and Sabo, they part ways. She's going to Egghead in the New World while Sabo is staying with the revolutionaries, and well, that's where they part. We cut to the meeting with Cobra and the 5 elders. Now in Dressrosa, they explain this in detail, and Cobra, he talks about it and he kind of goes on another tangent about something else. But I want to mention how I think it was King Riku, or it might have been the Totatas, I don't remember, but they explained how celestial dragons were. Basically, the world government came together, 20 nations, and they lived in marriage while known as celestial dragons. They're responsible for the creation of the world, etc., where those celestial dragons ended up, I guess, making other people under them, that they were the ones to rule over the world, like the different islands. So for example, King Riku, and the fact that I believe, I'm not going to get into it that much, but there are celestial dragons and there's people that the celestial dragons pick in order to rule over the different nations, and they'll be living on those islands and not married to law. I guess for the United States, think of it kind of like the president, how he's over the entirety of the United States. But then he, like, you know, there's different governors that are voted, and they're the ones that watch over the different, not countries, different states, if that makes sense. It's not one-to-one, but that's the best analogy I could give. We also find out that the throne, the reason why it's empty is because the 20 countries, they each put a weapon right in front of the throne, and this is to represent that they all are equal. There will be no dictatorship and nobody will be seated at that throne. However, Alabasta, they did not go and put a weapon on the throne because there was Queen Lili. She was the house of Nefertari, and she was one of the people of the founding 20 that did not become a celestial dragon. She was supposed to go back to Alabasta, however, she never made it, and the younger brother was the one who ruled over the country. So the question was, what exactly happened to her? And Imu's listening in on this conversation. That's important for later on in the chapter, because Cobra, you know, Cobra be out here looking at different information, and he's like, well, this isn't in the records or anything like that, so the world government must be hiding something. He also begged the question is, what is the meaning of D? We know a lot of people are interested in this specifically Law and Robin. And well, Luffy doesn't care, but Luffy's a part of it. Roger was a D. There's a lot of other characters that have D in their name. And so when the elders question it, he as in Cobra, he said the truth is a short letter penned by the queen has been passed down from one generation to the next. A lot of people have speculated that the D, they are the ones who are supposed to slay, I guess, God or Emu, or take down the gods, or take down the celestial dragon, something along those lines. And the community has always wondered what it means and why it's so special. And I thought we were going to get this in this chapter, but Oda, he knows he's not going to do this, and I should be used to that by now. We cut to Shirahoshi, and Charles is trying to get her again. She's in chains, and the person that did this is Kuma. Now, the different brothers, well, first off, I want to mention there's different people around. Everybody does not like the celestial dragons, and instead of going after and trying to help her, they run away in fear of an admiral coming to the island. And so the different people who are there, specifically Leo and Sai, they're about to take action because the celestial dragon that was protected by Queen Odahime, I also want to mention the brothers were going to do something about it. However, the celestial dragon protected by Queen Odahime, I believe his name is Mioshgard, something along those lines, he's informing them, yo, I understand you guys are upset, but you guys are royalty. People look after you. If you guys were to take action against the celestial dragon, what do you think the consequences would have on your country? And he's absolutely correct. So he said, hey, let these guys handle it. He's referring to Sai and Leo, and they go in and they destroy Charles. I believe they used a heel kick and a Tatanta slam. I love them. They're part of the Straw Hat Glaring Fleet because a lot of people are like, yo, they murdered Celestial Dragon. What's wrong with them? And as he said, they can get away easily. But look at it this way. The Celestial Dragons, we know how strong, like how much influence they have. An admiral would even show up. But if an admiral comes, because Shirahoshi, Sai, and Leo, they're the ones that are in trouble in this situation. And so the fact that an admiral comes, what happens? What does an admiral think would happen if he messed with members of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet? Because people may I don't think that we realize how influential they are. Even Shanks, when Bartolomeo burned his flags, in the canon of the story in the manga, I don't know if it was specifically Shanks or if it was Ben Beckman or somebody on the crew made mention to how Bartolomeo, he was the one who destroyed our flag and declared war, whatever, something along those lines. So if a Shanks, a Yonko mentioned it, Luffy, who's a Yonko, you think he's gonna stand around and let one of his subordinates or somebody that works under him go lightly? Because that's not the case. We saw with Whitebeard how when Ace was about to be executed, he pulled up. And so Luffy and New Yonko, with not just, we know like the Yonko territories, people fear taking over Wano plus the samurai, but that was Kaido's territory. Whitebeard had Fishman Island, and then Big Mom did it after he died. So we know how influential Yonkos are. And so the fact that if you do something to them, you think that the Straw Hat Grand Fleet are going to take it lightly. Luffy will pull up with his crew. There's also other allies that he has, the people of Alabasta, there's people of Dressrosa, there's people of Fishman Island, there's Wano, and plenty more. So they should be careful, even though that, yeah, they attract the Celestial Dragon. I think the world government should be careful what Luffy would do. I also have to mention that Morley, he saved Kuma, used his Devil Fruit, got away, and that's how Kuma ended up going back with the revolutionary. The last part of the chapter, we have Emu. He is, or she, I'm gonna say they, we don't really know Emu's identity. So they went to the throne and sat on the throne. Now this is important because remember in chapter 1000, I believe 60, Sabo was talking about how the throne that was presumed empty isn't empty. And so since that's the case, if people thought an empty throne isn't empty, specifically Cobra's here watching somebody sitting on that throne, that means the world government isn't as trustworthy as they say. And so the fact that Cobra is seeing this, you think that Emu is gonna let him just go away scot-free? This is probably how he ended up getting murdered. And Cobra is, well, he's really influential and all, but at the same time, he's kind of screwed, not gonna lie. He probably will see Emu's face, and Sabo's probably gonna appear, and before Cobra dies, will probably tell him everything that he needs to know, because we know how scary Emu is, what they did to Lelouch, and Sabo said what you would hear, probably talking about the empty throne and more about Emu. Your life is at risk. Really good chapter. pretty surprised about all this stuff we got this week. Unfortunately, there is a break next week, but hey, Oda deserves it. Let me know how you guys feel about this chapter in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and TikTok is on the screen and in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.